Here.
Felicia Patrick. Derek Dempsey.
Here.
Justin Nelms.
Here.
Quorum established.
Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Notification of open meeting registry on the west wall. Proper procedure for guests. If you have a question or comment, raise your hand. We'll call upon you from there. To open up with, the board will hear comments at this time. All comments need to be directed to the chair. There is a 5-minute time limit. There will be no discussion by the board on comments by the public that are not on the agenda. Is there any public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. We have an agenda presented to us. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Motion, Doctor. Second, Patrick.
Scott Meyer.
Yes.
Derek Dempsey.
Yes.
Felicia Patrick.
Yes.
Justin Nelms.
Yes.
Kim Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Read and approve minutes, April 8th, 2026, regular meeting. Any additions or corrections that anybody saw?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Motion back.
Second.
Second, Patrick.
Felicia Patrick.
Yes.
Kim Becker.
Yes.
Justin Nelms.
Yes.
Derek Dempsey.
Yes.
Scott Meyer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sheriff's report. Mr. Newton.
So you guys read that in the last meeting. Do you have any questions on that? So we're at 753 hours a day on 1,271 total cases, 2 village code violations of parking and traffic. I understand you guys have some stuff for me.
Did anybody have
Your attorney is smiling, that's not good.
Mr. Riley?
I don't even know if it's me, but I think there's some concern. I will also be calling the courts, but my understanding is emails have been sent requesting things be added so that you can write the basic ordinance violations. And we're not very long in the process of getting those added. And so it's not necessarily on you, but I think there is some concern from the village office that we're not getting anywhere. So other than that, I will she's running away from me.
And that deals with the clerk magistrate.
Yes, it does.
Correct, at the courthouse. While you're on that, I had her make copies. These ordinances in the 2.5 pages in front of you, that's currently what's in our system that we can write a warning or a citation on. The ordinance numbers have changed.
I was gonna say, all these
So,
7
we need to-
days, 6 days,
Yeah.
all those are old.
I think we need to start from 0 and because the ordinance numbers have changed, this is not gonna be right. She mentioned some ATV stuff going on in town, and that's not even in your list that we could
Oh,
write.
you provided this, okay,
Yeah.
all right, that
This-
helps.
I
me.
printed this is what the crime commission has for Sutherland ordinances in our electronic system. So you submit it to the clerk magistrate, she goes through it, and then she submits it to the crime commission, and they would go in and enter it, and then I download off their website into our report system, and that gives all the deputies access. So this is terribly outdated.
Well, yeah, I thought we had done that once, Rory, and we thought we were up to speed except for a few.
I think we had, and it took almost
recreational ones.
They've had it
have
for
been
over 2 years so far, so.
Yeah.
So I know the clerk magistrate, so I can.
I do
light a
too,
fire,
buddy.
but I don't think, and I can go talk to Annette and see if she can provide me what you provided her, but.
When it
this-
wasn't me,
Literally, I
I-
said this afternoon, this is what we have.
Okay, and I don't know what's been sent over, I asked that be sent to me, so we can all kinda get on the same page. I guess my thought would be, basically, I can go through and change all the numbers. Do we also wanna look at some standardized sort of waiverable fines as we have this discussion?
That comes right back to you.
I understand.
And that, and like we talked about 2 years ago, only put stuff in here that you were willing to pay Rory to prosecute, because we don't wanna be writing stuff that you guys get mad about, because you don't wanna screw with it. So that, I think, the police needs to go through like your police chapter and see what you want, so that if you don't want it, it doesn't show up, and nobody can write a ticket on it. That's kind of a backwards way of doing this,
Well, question, are these dollar figures, I'm seeing some hundreds, some 25s, are those existing waivable fines? I don't even know, I mean, I don't.
But I think this is so old, it was before the Nebraska Supreme Court came out and said Rebecca can no longer prosecute
Right.
ordinance violations, that the village has to, so I think you guys need to visit top to bottom, what you want your fines to be,
See,
what you're
I'm
willing to prosecute.
completely lost, because Bonnie, I think 2 years ago, we did this, and we sent it there. And she
I
said-
drove it into the courthouse
Yeah,
and gave it to
she
her.
said, okay, we'll do this. And then before you, they said, yep, it's in the process. And they came back and they said, look these over and see what's missing. And,
There's a lot missing, and I think the village wants stuff to be missing.
yeah, I understand that, but it was like, I thought the new stuff was already downloaded at one point.
Some of it is, I think there's approximately 8 charges in this that are from the new code book. The rest of it is from the old
It's
code.
very antiquated.
Okay, if you can just get it figured out.
Well, I will have something for the next meeting, absolutely.
I think where it's on, because our binder at the office is horribly outdated, so I got on your
Yeah.
website, found the ordinances, you've already got it electronically, it would not be anything to grab that and send that to Annette and say, we need this quicker rather than later, because we're
So,
having issues.
what I will do with the next meeting, I'll work with the office here, and we'll kind of be on the same page. But starting here, I will come back, basically lay all this out, and you guys can decide if you wanna get rid of some of them.
Red pen,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Okay.
Alright,
Sounds good.
is there anything else?
Meanwhile, can we get some patrols in the evening? Cause we got a lot of kids running up and down the streets just raising hell.
You guys need to call when it's happening.
Yeah, when it's
'Cause
happening.
we're spending hours out here.
Yeah,
But if you tell me about it at a village meeting, we need to catch them
But-
doing it.
we've had people calling on dog complaints and we're not getting anywhere on it. They call down in the office and the first thing we say, you have to call the sheriff's office.
Okay, now that's,
You
remember
need-
the last
You need
time?
to call dispatch.
911,
Yeah.
and not the 535-6789, because we had an incident up at the park last night. She says, well, I called the non-emergency number. I said, no, they do not record that number. You need to dial 911, first words out of your mouth, this is not an emergency, but please report me.
But that 6789 number is recorded. The only one that is not is a Crime Stoppers number. So if you're calling 535-6789, it goes to the dispatch center. That's their direct line. They generate a case, they send the deputy.
So it's still documented.
Every time it's recorded. The only one that is not is the 8400 Crime Stoppers line.
Yeah, but, yeah, because last night there was an incident up at the new Anchor Park. And, I took care of it, probably not in the most gracious of ways, because they said they had called. And, the kids were hanging off, sitting in the basketball hoops, not hanging from them, playing dump the ball, sitting in them. And I went up there and took care of it, and I had video sent me the video, asked for them not to be shown because they were afraid that their house would be egged at the next meeting. I said, yep, no problem. And, yeah, I took care of it, probably not the most gracious way. But I said, please, I said, don't call me the next time, call 911.
You've gotta call. I mean,
So, yeah.
the last few days have been nuts. I was on the suicide attempt right after lunch, so that takes resources. If something's going on and you don't like it, you've got to call. They stack calls. There's never a time that somebody calls the dispatch center and they shit can. It doesn't happen. They start a case, it gets stacked for the deputies. If everybody's busy, the supervisor is notified of it, and so they know there's a call stack. It gets handled.
Oh, I
guarantee you.
I don't have any problems, it's just, anytime I call in, I call the dispatch center, within 5-10 minutes, there's a deputy calling. But it's the people that's calling the office, I don't know if they're saying they're calling in or not calling in.
I would not call the sheriff's office because that's not.
No.
Who dispatches deputies? They do bid inspections and warrants and all that. You need to call the 535, 6, 7, 8, 9. That goes to the 911 center.
Yeah.
We have every shift, there's one dispatcher dedicated to the sheriff's office. They stack calls and the deputy responds. They're gonna call you on the way. They're gonna call you back when they're done. That is a mandate from the sheriff.
Is it kids speeding? Is that what you're, like, speeding down the roads, or?
There
I guess-
was a 4-wheeler the other night with 5 kids packed on
You need
it,
to call that in.
going up and down the streets. Numerous
If you know-
kids.
If you know who it is, which I think I probably do, you still need to call it in, because it's, your ordinance clearly says on an ATV, you're allowed one person.
And they have to be 16 to be driving, they have to have a
16,
license.
You have to have insurance, you have to have a flag, you have to have a headlight, tail light. But you gotta call it in while they're in motion so we can catch it.
That's what I keep telling
I mean,
people.
that's, I don't know how else.
Your hands are tied until you're notified. I mean, there's nothing you can do until you're notified.
Oh, if we're in town, we see it.
Yeah, you see it, that's what we
We've
absolutely.
got one deputy assigned to Hershey and Sutherland. It's a huge area, and every year, we have a new high-end calls for service that we answer. And we haven't increased that piece, so our guys are running. If they get a call, if it goes to dispatch, I guarantee you there's a call staff.
And
a
maybe-
case report.
On our end, this is just a suggestion with summer coming, school getting out, maybe we put it out on our,
When I have
Social
the
media
ones that
that-
we've put out before, you know, reminder, you have to be this age for
well, not that,
ATVs or.
but, for people, please remember, don't call the village office, call the, you know, this number versus that, because obviously, if the parent really cared, the child they wouldn't be on that like that. So telling the parent, you know, reminder, big deal, but maybe telling the community, excuse me, if you have a problem, instead call.
I'd be more than happy to put it on the sheriff's office Facebook.
I would
Because
love
we
it if
have-
you'd do that
Well,
because,
be careful what you wish for.
yeah, I
The
know.
last one I did was fishing off the Newberry access,
Yeah.
and the state told me to go ahead and do that, and I guess who was doing, and they were telling people, call the sheriff's office, that's not my property.
It's not your
You're
property,
calling
it's
me,
the
because
game
the kids out
wardens.
there fishing, and they've done it the 31 years I've worked here,
Mhm.
and now all of a sudden it's not okay, and it wouldn't be that shut it off.
Well,
I absolutely will, you will get a response, and I totally agree with that. If you're gonna start getting after kids for 2, 3, 4 on a 4-wheeler, I think you gotta put it out, that'll stop some of it. And if
Right.
they continue to do it, now bad on them.
You need to be after the adults too that don't have a license.
Exactly.
You know, we post it every year in the paper, that reminder, get your
We send
side by
Some
side,
people
your
don't get it
ATV's
until they
license.
Get a citation and then it clicks,
Yeah.
so,
Very good.
I agree.
You know, out of the 100 that's probably in town, there's probably only about 15 of them that's registered.
Actually,
We work
we
fatalities on the machines every year, and it'll go like this until somebody gets hurt in
Yeah.
town, and then everybody's gonna blow up.
Then it's a bad deal and it's someone's fault.
Yeah.
actually I think we've
That's
got
just- that's the
almost
cycle.
60 registered
sure.
this year because I
Do you
keep
guys still
harassing
do the
people.
speed trailer?
It's out in Brady, yes, we do.
Cause I know usually every year they get that at some point for a week or so to bounce around town. I guess, is that something we still want to see or
I
not?
would, I I would love to see it around town, but I think if we put it, unless it takes pictures, which I don't think it
It
does.
does not.
Don't put it up in my neighborhood,
It records speeds,
because
but no pictures.
they start at Walnut and go west, side by side, to see who can hit the stop sign first. And, yeah,
You know, me, when I was younger, many moons ago, I saw one of them signs, it was a competition to see how high you could get.
that's what I'm saying, so don't put it up in my neighborhood, but do whatever, wherever you need to place it, you're more than welcome to.
The deal with the speed trailers, I don't like having it set out all night, cause some
No,
people throw a beer bottle.
we put them in the shop, it's
So
usually,
whether you do, somebody like you that has a constant problem and you wanna hook onto it with an ATV and pull it up in your yard, I don't care. I just sit alongside a highway, it's gonna disappear.
It's gonna
Or it's gonna get
disappear.
damaged or get hit.
Yeah,
$10,000.
or they're gonna pull it out into the country and see how fast it goes.
We had a car trailer with 2 side-by-sides stolen out of our impound lot.
Yeah,
And they found them illegally, so I'm not putting anything past anybody.
no, but
Yeah, if you want the speed trailer, I will get it up to you.
we hook.
As Casey, that's up to, I suppose, if you want it up here, wherever, figure that out.
no, we just stick it all over town.
Okay.
Stick it over by the school, we stick it up on
It's easy to.
Prairie Trace, we stick it on the highway. Stick it on South Street, we just move around every day, but usually you guys drop it off at our shop over there, we stick it out in the day, and at night we put it in the shop.
That's a good deal. I used to set it out at the lake all night. I'm like, man, it's just a matter of time. That lake below me.
That's just an open invitation to shoot me or
Yes.
take me out.
Very good, was there anything else?
I would like to, Captain, real quick, just give a big thank you to the deputies. They are really good about coming into the office and letting us know if they have had dog calls or coming and checking on things. So we really appreciate it, because then we have forewarning when we have angry citizens show up because the sheriff was at their door, and we know what's going on. So just thank you to those who have been in town and stopped in and let us know what's going on.
I will pass it on. We kind of giggle at the office that we're adults and get to carry guns and drive fast, but a dog call will get you sideways with a lot of people in a hurry. A dog call.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I will
Sometimes,
pass that along. I appreciate that.
Jim?
I got a question for your deputy. How do you handle the, kids with the electric, scooters?
I searched ordinance for scooter.
Probably
It's not in there. So,
I know last year I brought this up, or somebody did, and they put an ad in the paper about the scooters. Cause I've seen them kids bust through the stop sign just quicker than hell, and it,
I think it was just Carney just enacted an ordinance on the scooters. It was either Carney or Grand Island just passed legislation
they're so
on.
popular now, I think you're gonna have to do e-bikes and scooters.
They did.
Cause those e-bikes fly right
The
along.
problem is, and I've dealt with this in Oklahoma, is they keep changing. So like the state definitions do not fit what's on the road. So
No.
at the state level, we're way behind, and trying to keep up even at the municipal level is very difficult, because they have ones that they switch one way and you're perfectly street legal under 28 miles per hour. You flip the switch the other way and
they're running
it's an
40.
off-road, they're running 40. It's a mess.
they'll probably take an accident. Make
Well,
anybody.
unfortunately.
That's right.
That's true.
Alright, anything else?
I personally appreciate the presence, because I've never noticed it until I needed lift assist. And surprisingly,
She was right there.
Tessa has been within minutes, both times I've needed her, and she put me to shame, because she lifted my dad a lot better than I could, so.
Right, I go to both go to the same gym, and I still would not mess with her.
Yeah.
Dark alley.
Thank you for coming up, appreciate your report.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, unfinished business, property on Walnut Street, nothing to report now. Large animal permit at 730 North County Road.
Nothing.
Sewer lagoon.
Works in progress.
Dust was flying today.
That was nice. Frank, please, discussion on accounts.
He wanted that held till after the audit.
Okay. Compost site shelter discussion.
I guess that if you guys don't know, we are proud owners of a 7.5 foot container that we got at Adam Marshall last week for, was $2,600, I believe. So it's sitting in the north lot. We're in the process of figuring out what it's gonna cost to insulate it, what we're gonna do for sure. When we get prices on that, we'll bring it back.
The permit has been approved on that also.
It does have the window, or sliding window, and the walkout door on the container as well.
Nice.
So,
It's bright orange.
do we need to, so you're just researching price on it, Casey, or what do you need, I guess, from the board?
Well, if that one at Menards, it's underneath my budget, so,
The air conditioning?
yeah.
That's the one that was in the packet before, same one.
Yes, that's,
Around $600 range, I think.
577.
577 or something.
but we're in the process of figuring out how we're gonna frame it out so we can get it insulated. Been talking to an electrician on wiring, so it's just, right at the moment, it's just all up in the air.
We need the old shed surplus so we can condemn it.
Well, then, yep, that would be the next item.
Yeah, it's on there, so
It's
I'm
on
gonna
there.
declare it
So that
surplus.
old shed that was hauled up to the dump from this Poplar Street property, where we have purchased a new one, do we want to keep that, or do we want to throw it in the dumpster?
I don't know what shape it's in, I don't know if it's,
Well,
it's rough.
let's put it in the paper and see if anybody wants to put a bid on it. If nobody bids on it, then it's dumpster material.
The one up and down.
Yeah.
We
Let's
gotta,
throw it away.
Didn't you say you were surprised it made
Let's
it the
just throw
trip
it
from
away,
Poplar
because
Street
otherwise
to the
it's
dump?
gonna End up in someone's
it's gonna end up.
yard,
Yeah.
and we have to
backyard.
do an ordinance for someone having crap in their yard.
Our
Let's
old
just
shed
throw,
in the yard.
yes,
It's-
let's just throw it away.
It's
We
Yeah,
have
maybe
enough
move up the
yards that
hill.
need,
Is that a motion to
that's a
declare it
motion. Can I make a
surplus
motion
and
to please throw it away?
declare it surplus and throw it away?
I don't care what you declare it. Can I
Yep.
make a motion?
Yep.
You kinda have to do it that way, but
Declare it
yes.
surplus and throw it away.
There you go.
I will second that, because I don't think it's gonna take too much to push it over. I don't know, but
So, motion, Patrick, second Backer, any other discussion? Vote please, Marty.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Kim Backer, Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, referral from planning commission on ordinance 688, dual frontage lots.
If you want to shut off this, or?
Go for it.
Okay, so, in the village, you have what's known as through lots, what we call dual frontage lots, basically what they are, so you've got a front yard on both sides. Initially, we were looking at just residential, but the planning commission, or planning board, wanted to make it apply in the various districts that this could come up. So what's in front of you is addition, on each, an ag, residential, suburban, residential, that would allow or create some regulations on those sort of lots. So, and I don't know in ag how common these are, but in residential and suburban residential, they do exist.
So what this does, it puts a 4-foot tall fence, 25-foot front, from front and backyard on dual frontage yards.
Yes, so they have to follow your setbacks on both sides, cause I think you've had issues with going on one side but not the other, and it's too close to the street and causing a mess, so.
So that's ordinance 688. So I guess we try to read this first time by title only.
Yep, give me just 1 second. Didn't have it pulled up. Okay, ordinance number 688, an ordinance of the Village of Sutherland, Lincoln County, Nebraska, to amend the regulations of through lots of the planning and zoning regulations as recommended by the Planning Commission, to repeal all other ordinances and resolutions or parts thereof in conflict, to provide that the provisions of this ordinance shall be made a part of the code of the Village of Sutherland, and to provide when this ordinance shall be in full effect. full force and effect, excuse me.
It is a first reading. And we have, so your option, we can wait 3 readings, or we can have 3 full readings on this. That is up to the board, if anyone wants a motion, or go on.
So this is just for fencing? Is that what you're thinking?
No, it basically makes it so setbacks have to be on the front yard, fall the same way on what they call their backyard, but it still abuts a street. So it could deal with the fencing or structure placement or anything like that. Any new setbacks would fall into place.
What would be an example?
Caleb Westerman's house up there.
Oh,
Okay, he's
gotcha.
got that 8-foot tall fence all the way back
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
He can have a, right at the moment, he could put a shed right smack in the corner of that back there with a 5-foot or, what is it, 5 or 7-foot setback off both sides. If this would, when this passes, if or when, he would have to be the 25-foot both directions, the front and the back. And if he wouldn't have had his fence already, that back, that north side of that fence would have had to been dropped down to a
4
4-foot
foot,
fence.
but we
on
didn't
the
have
other
any
side.
regulations in the planning and zoning for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably should not pass this, we had that little public hearing for second reading.
So we'll have to, Mr. Roundtree pointed out, we will have to do a public hearing on this for the second
Oh.
reading. Lets everybody understand what this is or where it's at, how it works.
So can they not claim, you know, like, so if that were me, and I have kids like what they have, I would want a 6-foot fence as a backyard. But now you're saying that they would have to have 2 4-foot fences.
They can put a 6-foot fence, but it has to be 25 foot in, I think, is that what it says?
25 foot off of the front.
Off
Off the lot line.
the lot line,
On either
on
side.
either side. They can still put a 6-foot tall fence back there, but it's gotta be that 25 foot in.
Who maintains that back 25?
The homeowner.
It's their
Homeowner,
property,
yeah, homeowner maintains from center line to center line,
That would be their property.
so.
And our ordinance says 25 feet, is
Yeah,
that our
the-
ordinance?
My yard's there.
Yeah,
What about backyards?
Well, that's what this is
that's
addressing.
what this is.
There isn't really,
But, so like in my backyard, what, so I guess, yeah, that
You
makes
wouldn't
it
be-
kind
you
of
wouldn't
weird
be-
because I'm
You're not a double
Yeah,
frontage
it
lot.
wouldn't affect you.
Right.
It,
So,
it doesn't affect very many people in this town.
Right.
yeah,
It's just if you loan a lot from one street to the other street.
Right, I understand, yeah.
So, I guess what is the purpose, I guess is my question.
the thing about the purpose on this is if, I hate to use Westerman's as an example, but it's a good example because there is a lot that is to the east of there. If there was a driveway just on the other side of that fence, he's got that 6-foot fence all the way out to his property line. And somebody tries to back up, you gotta back up almost onto the road before you can get clear vision. See, and clear vision is placed in this now with the sight triangles and everything else to where before it wasn't.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of another example.
Well, if there's a sidewalk there, you would see somebody walking down the sidewalk.
Or a bike coming.
Or a bike
down the
or-
side.
But
Yeah.
there's not too many issues with this, but I can't think of anybody.
Well, yeah, White's old house, Tammy and
Yeah,
White's.
Tammy and
Yep,
Mitch White's
yep,
old
so-
house, exactly. Robbie Sandberg's old house, the one right next to it,
Mhm.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
There's a handful of the through lots, but yeah, basically planning commission had discussion on it. They did a lot of research on it before they forwarded the recommendation to go forward with it. So, but like Mr. Roundtree stated, we will have, at our next meeting.
you could have a public hearing and after that you can do second reading and adopt if you so choose.
So then adopting this, just, I mean,
From here on
Westerman's
out,
an example, then,
they're fine.
so this isn't something that like we adopt it and then tell them they have to.
It's not retroactive,
Okay.
active, they're grandfathered.
No, everything's good with theirs and everything.
Okay.
It's just anybody like,
So they met the 25
no, they didn't.
at all, period.
No,
No,
not on
because
that.
this wasn't.
It wasn't
in place.
identified in the planning and zoning
We,
regulations.
we looked and we looked and we looked and we called Rory and got his opinion, but there was nothing in the planning and zoning where we could stop that fence from going through. That's why this is
And if you
here today.
notice, just to the west of there is our own fence with 6 foot tall chain link, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're a double frontage on that one too,
On the lot.
on our lot.
But it's not on the lot line. Your fence is not on the lot line.
Yeah.
It's still not 25 foot back though. This-
I'd have to
Yeah.
look at the ones close, but yeah, it's,
The front, yeah, by yours is.
I was just
But
concerned
anyway,
about having
it's
to tell
just-
them they had to move their stuff.
no.
No,
There,
absolutely
that
not.
would be no part of that.
So,
So we'll leave this on for next meeting, if you can arrange that, Bonnie.
Yep.
Final payment to ABC Creative.
After some assistance from Kim, we did get a response from them. They did take off the moving of the sprinklers because they didn't do that, and did agree to take off the striping of the sport court just to get this settled, because I know that the board had asked me to discuss that with them. I do have the emails back and forth. I didn't put them in the packet, but I do have that with them agreeing that if we would like to find somebody to do that on our own rather than paying them, it was almost $6,000 or $7,000. They took that off, so this is just everything else that was. I had Casey look it over, and we had some minor issues with some of it because we did provide some of the security fence, but they brought some also, so we weren't sure it was worth fighting over. But they did take those two big things off, so almost $10,000 that they took off if we could do final payment. They would prefer to have it paid electronic fund transfer. I do have their routing information if the board okays that and is fine with me doing that. But this is just the final payment, and then they will submit all receipts so I can get those to West Central and close out the grant and get that reimbursement money.
So in your opinion, the final payment of $82,574.15 should be paid.
I would say so. They've completed everything else, and actually that, with that and what we've already paid, actually comes in under what the original quote was. So,
make a motion to authorize the payment of 83 to, in the amount of 82,574.15.
Which account?
Keno.
Okay. And is that allowed to be EFT payment? Okay. So motion backer for the $82,574.15 out of Keno EFT transfer.
Second.
Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
Second.
Second, Justin Mills.
Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Kim Becker,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance updates.
I still am going through, Haley and I have been going through to get some that we have seen that need to be updated with Rory, and then I will get those over to him.
I think you've authorized us to work together, so I don't think it necessarily needs to be on the
You
agenda.
take it off the
Okay.
agenda until ordinance discussed further, okay? Cobbler Lane and Cherrywood Drive paving.
Actually, there was some motion up there today. There was a construction meeting Friday. It sounds like they're probably gonna hit it full force Monday.
Anything else on that? Move on. Semi-pro baseball team.
Really not much update to that. We're just waiting for, the youth board to get a schedule to us to see if it will work for them.
And
Oh.
And Kyle did say if we give him the dates, that the wants to play up here, they will adjust their schedule so nobody's up here from the youth for those dates.
I can forward him that email if you want me to, Casey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. New business, exchange of services with Sutherland Public School.
We had been looking into a way to do pool passes that was maybe a little more durable than the paper ones. Priced printers, we priced ordering them. I called the school to find out where they order their student IDs from. They print them in-house. And they are willing to print them for us. What they asked in exchange, rather than us paying for the materials, is if we could give a couple of passes, just the 2 to 4 family passes to the school, they would add them to raffle baskets. And in return, they will print off however many we need. Looking at ordering them, we were looking at almost $900 just to get what we sold last year. Oh, they brought over some examples for me. We can either put an expiration date on them so that they're only good for 1 year, or we can let families keep the same number and then just make sure that they have to, follow up with them to have them pay each year, so then those cards can be reused yearly, however the board or Casey wanted to work that, and they are willing to print up as many as we need. I did call Rory and I asked if we could do that, where we are getting something with monetary value in return for giving them something with monetary value. Rory said it was an exchange of services and would be perfectly legal. So it's just up to the board if we wanted to do that or find some other way to come up with passes that aren't going to fall apart, get ripped, or dropped in the pool. Or
My question is, when I bought the pass, I got the number. My grandkids just go in there and sign it, put their pass number on it, walk in. So if we do this, are each one of them on the family pass gonna need one of these? Are they gonna use them all the time? Are they gonna sign in again?
we'll still have the list of names, and I know I talked with Kristen, and she talked about maybe keeping the actual pass itself at the pool and using just a label maker, putting the names on the back of them, and then when they sign in, just get like a Rolodex and pulling that out to make sure that their name is on it. It wouldn't take much longer to do that.
So in that case, then why don't we just use a piece of cardboard and do that, and we don't need to do these?
Well, and that's
I mean, but by the end of, or middle of the year, those kids know everybody by name, and if they don't, they've got the little book in there that your pass is, what's your name, I can pick up the pass for you, let me see if you're on it. Because I think, I'm gonna be honest, my little orange one from the school, because I'm an old lady, I don't even know where it's at. And I just walk in there and they say, okay, see ya, go on in. But, I don't know, that's my opinion, I don't think we need them.
Well, and like I said, it was just it was an option we looked at.
It's a very good option.
Last year, you guys hand laminated those with lamination sheets, the amount of time that takes, I mean, that's significant time on those.
But
These would be a lot faster.
I never got a laminated one last year for the kids.
Well, and the pool kids, when they were selling with the pool, they didn't want to laminate because it took forever, and the lamination didn't want to stick to it, and because there was just we don't have the heated laminator, so it was literally just 2 lamination sheets that you stuck, and then we had to pile books on top of it to get it to.
To use their lamination machine, and it's huge. You could do that, and
Well,
I mean, it's, you could do that.
And the issue with that is if we use the paper passes and laminate, then if we write the name on it, we can only run one through at a time. If we write the names on it, we don't.
Yeah, or you could get a recipe card box with A through Z and put it on there like that and pull it up that way, and it's pretty easy too.
We had just been looking at different options for passes that might be a little more durable, so I thought I would bring that up. I mean, we're open to any suggestions. So.
There are some kids that haul their pass with them every day
Mhm.
to the pool. There's some kids that do that.
I know my grandkids don't. I paid for it up here, and I don't remember, maybe you did offer me a card, maybe I just said, no, don't worry about it. they'll know their number. And they've got the master book, should have the master book right there,
Mhm.
to say
I
yes.
do think if you do it, you should have just this year on it. Just in case we change pricing, something happens, things like that. So it expires at the end of, this year. You have to get a new one, maybe you change the logo for the year, something, cool. I don't know, but I do think it should say that.
Well, I know, Mr. Golden, the IT guy at the school, said that if we wanted to, and the village wanted to invest in it, they could also print the ones that you can scan and beep in, so kids would they'd have to have the card on them, obviously then, and scan in.
And
But then you'd have to give one to every family member in case
Yeah,
little
and then
Johnny
to-
comes down and Jill comes later, they,
then
Yeah.
their friends got it, and their friend can scan and go.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't see the need.
Could you, just a thought, if you were gonna do it, could you, instead of giving it away as raffle, because school year's almost over, summer's here this year already, there's no more raffles going on, could you do it, could the school possibly do it in a way to help maybe two families that can't afford, like a scholarship thing?
That would be up to the school and not up to us.
But we could suggest that, because we could put that in their mind, hey, we would like to do this, but could we do it this way instead, maybe as a scholarship? Because the basket's done, unless you're gonna do it for next year too.
And I think that was the plan, is that they would just get two next year in return for it.
Right. I mean, you could do lanyards, everything with it, you could run with it, but then,
You're getting a lot more money invested in something that we don't make any money off.
right.
So do we wanna move forward with this or not? If somebody would like to move forward with it, I would entertain it.
I guess I'd be curious to talk to the pool manager and see what are they needing a form of ID to get in, or?
From what I've gathered in discussions on that, the biggest deal is keeping track of what kids are supposed to be with what family. What happens is Johnny's friend shows up and, I'm past 37, I'm with Johnny. Some of the lifeguards don't know who this kid is, other than he said he's on past 37. That's the only thing I've heard. We explain things better on our passes. But yeah, if you would like her at the next meeting, I'm sure she'd.
Well, I guess I'm curious, I don't wanna hinder,
The only,
But my question
But
is,
I'm
how's
kinda
that
like
gonna
him,
change
I don't-
that?
that's
What's
not
that?
gonna
How's
change
that?
that.
I don't know that this would change that. It would
Right.
save them the office. And I did see them last year, some of them up there laminating the sheets for people. When someone buys a pool pass, they want a piece of paper that says, I have a pool pass. That's the one thing I do know on that, but we
We-
can certainly ask.
We had a few last year that the parent called in and asked us if we could replace their pass. We had to look up, make sure it was paid, cause we keep the receipts for all those. Make sure it was paid, make sure what number they had, because somebody tossed it in the pool, or it had gotten ripped, or it was in my purse and now I can't find it and mom wanted a copy of the pass. This was just one suggestion that we had come up with to try to kind of mitigate mom calling and saying.
But you can buy, I buy a box of business cards from Vistaprint for 500 business cards for $50, right?
Mhm.
And, you could buy 2 boxes of those, spend $100. As a parent, if I want it laminated, well, that's kind of my job to, you know what I mean? Like, I should laminate my kid's card if I want it laminated. If you don't offer that service.
But
Mhm.
the thing about it is too, is then, are you gonna do one for each kid? And
Well, at $50 at $50 for a box of 500, you could.
you could.
And they could, it's Johnny, Sarah's, Betty's family, you should each bring your pass.
And then that's if we were gonna go that route, that would be the thing. You have to have your pass to get in, then
The only way you're gonna mitigate people using other people's names is to make them show that they have proof that they paid and they're part of that family coming in. The only way you can do that is if everybody in your family has a pass. There is no other
discuss research further, we have time before the pool opens.
That's fine.
If anybody wants to reach out to the pool manager.
Yep, I can absolutely do that.
I'm sure we can get a phone number for her.
If we ask, the chair just to go home and ask if she's available.
Yeah,
If you
I
wanna do
can
it
see if your
officially, I
pool
can-
manager will show up to the next meeting.
I say if you wanna do it officially, I can call from the office.
I could make that ask for tomorrow. Yeah,
So-
that's so, we'll see. I gotta go to work yet today. I don't know yet. So we'll just leave that on the third. Next item, discussion and action on the Sutherland signs and the park sign.
If you guys will look, there's some pictures on there. We have our signs there, especially the one down west end of town. It needs something done with it. It is ratted, it's beat up, it's time to do something. I had Mr. Condon come down and he gave us some ideas for some signs, so
Did you bring that piece of material with you?
I didn't.
It's corrugated plastic that is like a 1/4 inch thick, right?
Yeah, it's a 1/4 inch thick.
That,
But on the big Sutherland signs, that would be doubled up.
They're double sided.
So it'd be about a 1/2 inch thick.
they're pretty sweet.
Those signs have been there for a long time.
They're shot.
We've patched them up for a lot of years.
And at one time, we looked at signs and they were gonna be approximately $30,000 a piece, if I remember right. If we got both of them at the same time, it was gonna cut us a deal.
Yeah, it was,
Maybe
two
about-
of the billboard signs, electronic ones, like what Brady has at their entrance on Highway. At that time, they're 25,000 a piece, or they would do a pair of them for 40,000. And I'm sure it's went up since then, that's been 5 years ago.
Yeah, so, anyway, I had him come down, he gave us a couple of renderings for the Sutherland sign. The one sign, I am gonna have him get the Maynard Coker Memorial Park. I'm gonna have him do that one for sure. Cause it's below my budget, but then the other two, if that's something you guys are interested in, there's 2 designs there.
So basically, we'd be looking at $9,345.50 total. Actually, it'd be $8,750.50 for the signs, and basically you would have, the board, if they wanted to, could choose of those two, which one they would like to see. Or we leave up what we have.
Which one do you like better?
I like the white one better. For 2 reasons, that red will fade real bad.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like the red one would be pink in a few years.
Yes.
Mine stands
And-
out really good.
And actually, if you guys wanna come up with a different design, this is just what I had him throw together real quick. If you guys got any suggestions, we're more than open to it, but
I think the white one looks, it catches your mind.
it does, I love the white one, actually. And as you can see in the pictures, why he's doing that, why the signs are down, we would go ahead and paint the posts and everything before he puts them back up.
Would you paint those white also?
White, yes.
Motion to approve the welcome to Sutherland since 1891 white sign for that and the Maynard Coker Memorial Park sign and accept on the sign proposal of $93.45.50 coming out of the
Motion back.
Alicia Patrick,
Yes.
Kim Backer, Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Did you read on here, and I don't know, he's got on there attached other drawings for the welcome signs and the park sign. I quoted these from the thicker ACM so they hold up better to the elements. The welcome signs will be double-sided. My thought is to simply replace welcome with thank you for visiting and leaving the large Sutherland below. So you guys,
So it's welcome as you're coming to town and thank you as you're leaving town.
Yeah, that's right.
now he's saying replace the welcome and just put thank you for visiting on the back side.
And leave the large Sutherland below it,
And
so it
leave
would
large
say thank you
Sutherland
for
on the
visiting
front.
Sutherland.
Okay.
But you guys are happy with that?
Very good. Parks and pool picnic tables.
Give you guys a heads up, we're getting to the point, we're gonna have to order picnic tables, cause we're getting a lot that needs to come out of service. The reasons are that plastic is coming off of them, they're rusted, they're getting to the point that somebody's gonna get hurt on them. They're right at between $1,200 and $1,500 a table. But they're the heavy duty tables,
Those are the metal ones that have the coating on top.
Yep,
With
yes.
the rectangular
And
ones.
the last time I got them, I got the little square tables. They seat 8 just like the big ones, but they're not near as heavy. Cause the big 10-footers, they're about 400 pounds a table.
So the ones that we need to take out of service, is that something, do we throw those as surplus and let people throw a bid on them?
We can, yes, or we just
Okay.
haul them to the iron pile. We're getting enough of them, maybe eventually we'll get enough of them, we can make a couple tables out of all the parts.
All parts, okay.
But we're not quite there yet.
How many you're looking at ordering, Casey?
Probably about 10.
There's no chairs
I know,
no chairs at the pool.
and those tables that are there are nice underneath the shade thing, and a square picnic table in each corner would be really super nice.
And we need to, I looked at some in the parks and some of them, when they're getting beat up, they get used, they sit out.
So could you get, for the next meeting, get some prices and bids on it?
And I got a catalog if you guys wanna look at them. But I do know we want,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was wondering, and we'll get there, and if you're looking at a bunch of additions to your park, potentially we may have some money though for that, and what we'll have.
We do have a new application.
Yes, and you'll hopefully have a new application just for that sort of thing, so.
So Casey, I guess, bring the prices in,
yep, no
what
problem.
you're thinking.
But I think it'd be a combination of the little square tables and a combination of the long 10-footers.
All right, so we'll leave that on for next round. Discussion action on positive recommendations forwarded from the CARC. First item being recommending approval of changes to property improvement applications and contracts.
Okay, so in your packet, you'll see about a quarter inch thick is all of the documents from our CARC meeting last week. And what they are revisions to our applications and the contracts, and then 2 new programs. The reason that these were necessary is I've had several discussions with building owners downtown that want help with their buildings, which is great, their buildings need help. But the law states that you have to have a qualifying business either in hand or, on the hook that's coming in. And so I wanted to revise these to make that very, very clear so that, people weren't feeling slighted if we said, well, no, we helped the facade in the Snow White because that was more of a blighted and substandard remedy. We're not gonna help you with your electricity on the inside, and this is why. Any of those internal repairs that don't address like blighted and substandard and aesthetic repairs to the community has to follow the guidelines in the laws.
So I made that very, very clear. In doing that, then, the residential application, which is just for sidewalks and demo, does not need to be all of that with your, you know, your financials and the business contract and that kind of stuff. So I redid that to simplify. And again, those are aesthetic, things that, improve the village, so they don't have to have that qualifying business. And then we just redid the business development program application. The major change in that is to make it look like all the other applications, and again, to include very obviously that list of qualifying businesses so that people know, you know, and it's very broad. I mean, it could cover almost anything, but we do have that in there. And then after reading through the new comprehensive plan that Lincoln County just completed, if you have a chance to go online on the county government planning and zoning website and read that plan, the housing numbers are just staggering that they estimate that we're gonna be meeting in the next 10 years as a county. And it's thousands of units. And so what we developed was a program to help with surveying the lots so that they know where the utilities are and, you know, how close it's gonna be to hook those up. And that's one portion of it. The other portion of it then is to actually bring the utilities to where the service is needed. It's kind of the same thing that the CRA can do with TIF, but,
It's a lot easier.
it's a lot easier, yes, a lot fewer regulations. You know, say for instance, somebody wanted to buy that lot on Linden and put housing in there. You know, this would help them determine how much fill that they're gonna need and where the utilities are and that kind of thing. It would help them with that. And then finally, the last one is that internal project. When we do a project of our own, we don't need to come in with, who are you, how long are you gonna be in business, what are your financials, et cetera. So if, the Parks Department would want to do an application for the picnic tables, this would give us that paper trail so that we would have a file so that we knew what was paid for and that sort of thing. But it's just very simple. It's basically, here's what we wanna do, here's how much it's gonna cost, here's how long it's gonna take, et cetera. And I know we have this on as an action item, but because this is so thick, Lori recommends that you guys take another meeting cycle or maybe two and read them over. I mean, even my committee found some typos in them the other night, which I tried to correct, but there might be ones in there. The two other major changes to the program is the CARC felt we were being very generous with the half prime or 3%, whichever is lower. And then the same, if they would default, so this is more the contractual side, if they would default and didn't pay back the grant in a timely manner, we had that same half prime, et cetera. And so they wanted that changed to, the first part, if they opt for a loan, it's just set at half prime, not half prime, or 3%, whichever is lower. And then on the default, they wanted prime plus, so they want a little teeth in that. So, and they didn't set a prime plus level; it would just be on an individual basis. So those are the contracts. Those are the programs. I did have one of our board members ask us, or the committee members say, you know, do you guys revisit these once a year? And it's like, well, they've never gone that long without being revised. So eventually we'll get them to the place where, you know, a once a year revision would be all we would need, but everything is still in development, so.
So I guess my position on that, I think it would be good for everybody, honestly. I haven't been through with fines and code, so I need to do that also, but I think it'd be good to everybody to basically go through pages 19 all the way through probably 78, all the various programs. I did review the internal project application. I don't have any concern with that. If you want to move forward with that and everything following that, I think you're ready to proceed. But I think the programs you really probably should review
Right. any pending changes, so we don't have to revisit them with our committee with any of the changes. So if you guys would come back and say you want XYZ change, we can do that, and then you can adopt them without having to have my
Bounce between boards.
meet again.
So which ones would you suggest we could take action on?
I would recommend, the action item of recommending approval of internal project application, that is page 79 to 81, I believe we can proceed if you so.
Okay, so basically from here.
All the way down.
Yep. So, at Roy's suggestion, we'll start with recommending approval of internal project application. That's page 79 to 81.
And just on a side note, these look really good. I mean, just structurally, I think like an attorney, but visually, I think these will be very helpful going forward. So I just wanted to make that note.
So, yeah, know of anybody that wants a side gig, you can hand in this ready-made program, and I'll hand it over to you.
Basically with this, we need to accept,
Motion to accept and approve.
okay, and these need to be individualized, correct?
I think that's clean as well.
So I'd entertain a motion to accept the recommended approval of internal project application. Motion back. Second, Justin Mills.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is, the approval of a digital marketing grant to the Chamber of Commerce, award of $1,000 for the promotion of Maker's Market.
So this is the one that they submitted for the past 2 years. This is for this coming Makers Market in September. And if you'll recall, the teeth behind this one is if they don't turn in all of the documentation from previous grants, they're not eligible for future grants, and I can attest that they get their documentation. So the previous documentation has been submitted. Same thing, it's worked really well. We'll do 2 rounds of social media advertising, and then we'll do the 2x2 Nebraska Press Association display ads in the central and western regions of Nebraska for the little weekly newspapers and
Make a motion to approve the Village of Sutherland Economic Development Digital Marketing Grant application for $1,000.
Motion back. Second, Patrick.
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick, Justin Nelms.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is, Prairie Trace Sidewalk Survey from the city limits to Highway 30. It's recommending an approval of an internal application. And that starts at page 6.
okay, this is our first internal application. Well, I guess the signs for the parks are on that. The information signs are on that one, but we didn't have this form. So what we are proposing is to work with Tom Werblow, and that's where these numbers came from, to survey Prairie Trace Road for the possibility of a sidewalk on the city side of that. And then when the CARC considered it, they wanted to go ahead and start at the north city limits, all the way to Highway 30 on Prairie Trace Road. So that $12,000 should cover that. And then we spoke with Bonnie at the meeting. We want to be sure to notify all of those residents along that area. And the committee recommended letters to everybody before the survey starts that there would be people surveying, and this is why. And it was actually a request from the neighborhood, so it wasn't something that we just came up with on our own. No guarantee that the sidewalk would ever be built, but at least we would know how much it would take, what it needs.
We would be able, depending on the cost valuation, we could be able to you would be able to do this in phases too, correct?
Yes,
Like if
in the actual building of it.
portion of it was
Mhm.
out of this world, we could still go from North County
Right.
Road down.
In talking with Tom, the easy part of it is North County Road to Highway 30. When you get north of North County Road, the driveways, the whole topography there is a lot different, so, yeah. We might not get everything that we would want out of this, it might just be out of our reach, but.
And some of those people are gonna be flabbergasted on how much property they do not own.
So this 12,000 gets you started on the project for your,
12,000 was the survey,
The
was what
survey
we
side of
Tom
it,
to do
yeah.
the survey side, yeah.
So I have a question, have you considered doing where, like, West County Road at all versus Prairie Trace, just knowing that more kids and people walk
Yeah,
that
this is
versus Prairie
specific,
Trace?
this is specific in answer to a request from members of that neighborhood up there to give them a safe way to walk to the downtown.
Do you remember that meeting that we had with them that?
Right,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm just, I mean, if we're gonna, I'm just
This
asking
is a
because
start.
of spending the money one way or another, so I'm just curious if it has been considered or even talked, if we're gonna do this and do it all at once.
You know, when Kim and I were discussing this, our dream would be to have walkable sidewalks all the way around the community.
Well, and
so this would be a start for that.
Milo?
Well, I think the key here is that this came as far as, the local owners were requesting it. If the West County Road, owners would request that, our committee would bring that up and then bring that to you also. And same with North County Road, South Street, and the whole works.
well, I know I've sat at the board meeting, it's been talked about North County Road, I don't know if everyone's missed that, but.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
can
been talked
remember
about
talking,
multiple times.
Tori was there when we talked about North
Right.
County Road and
I'm just
depending
asking
on which
if
side of
you're-
the road.
Right, if,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to doing it, my question is, if he's going to do it once, could he do it all and then determine, you know, is that, do you wanna start there because they did request it, but you would at least have a price for all of it versus saying requesting it 3 different times?
Rory, would you weigh in on this? Since the CARC approved 1, could the board come in and say, we want to expand this and do 4? So West County, South County,
They could, just not at this meeting. It's
Okay.
not on the agenda. So I think authority-wise, yes, they could say, hey, this was a recommendation, but since we're doing it, let's do everywhere, it just, not tonight.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this is
So-
what's in front of us tonight, so this is.
so if we were to table this, and at the next meeting you expanded it to the 4 roads without my committee meeting again.
Correct, because ultimately, you made a recommendation, take a look at this. They're taking that and say, hey, great idea, let's do more. So I think that would be appropriate.
But you might want to meet with your committee, cause your price is also probably gonna be significantly
Oh,
higher.
yeah,
Probably looking,
correct.
if we do 4 areas, so $48,000.
Possibly, but he may say, well, I'm already out there doing it, so, I mean, you don't know, I guess.
Nothing's for free.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
That-
saying he's
Yeah.
gonna add on to it, I'm saying he could say, well, I'm going once, I'm gonna do it.
General thought, if you wanted to proceed with this piece and then send a request a car to look at a broader sort of approach with 3 additional, you could. Again, I don't know what prices are gonna be, I'm just letting you know what's in front of you.
And our
One-
timeframe to get on Tom's docket to get a survey done.
Casey?
I would caution the board to start putting sidewalks in front of people's houses, you're gonna have other people come forward, well, you did it for them, I want a sidewalk in front of my house is bad.
All this
So-
they need to do is apply.
Well, but that application is only a 50% match.
Yeah.
That's not 100% on people's repairing their sidewalks.
But, so with this survey, that you're wanting to go through with. If survey comes through and you guys deem you're gonna do this project, the cart board would pay for the entire project.
Depending on the I mean, if we thought,
But to touch on Casey's
Right,
point,
it's
if
an
you're gonna pay
issue.
to go down every property there, but you won't do it for every property over here, we may be opening up a can of worms, like you said.
or we could determine it as a walking path and not a sidewalk. It could be, you know, like the one that's on the cemetery that we did. Maybe a different definition. I mean, we wanna improve, we don't wanna cause hate and discontent.
Well, and I'm thinking the same thing, and that's why I was
Now,
bringing up all three,
but if
because
you
everything is
call it a walking
happening
path,
right now
it's-
around Anchor Park.
So when you do the survey, I would call it a walking path instead of a sidewalk.
Conversation.
But
One advantage we have on East County or Prairie Trace is we only own one side of the street. And that was our discussion on North County Road is you gotta look at either side of the street. I know there's problems on the north side of it.
But if
And
you
there's-
deem it a walking path, now, you only have to have a walking path on one side of the street.
Right, I agree with that.
So-
I mean, we'd be surveying both sides of the streets on all the other three and only surveying one side of the streets. We're looking at 7 potential
Right, so it's kind of a big
surveys.
can of worms to
Yes,
open
yes.
up with the community.
So I guess ultimately their recommendation is for us to approve this. So I would entertain a motion if we want to allow that or not.
And we could revisit the whole thing. We could make a new application, being sure to define it as a walking path. Go talk to Tom about how much it would cost and if we could afford all 4 of them at once. If not, see about doing them one at a time and we could bring this back to you.
And I like that, just because then I think if you get kickback from people on the other roads, you can say, yes, we checked on it, this is what we can afford right now, where right now you're just saying, oh, we're gonna do it for you guys.
Well, we know what one block cost us last year.
So,
I really truly feel that we need to change the definition of walking path instead of sidewalk.
So with that,
That
and
becomes
these-
our maintenance.
and that's exactly, so we have to move the snow on a walking path. We have to maintain the surface on a walking path, the village does. A sidewalk is owned by the property owner.
so then you have to get every property owner each individual applications for this,
For a sidewalk.
for a sidewalk. Because that's what you did for the people on Locust, they had to fill out an application for this to get their sidewalk.
Correct,
For
and that's
For a sidewalk,
For
a
matching.
50%
Right,
match, so
right.
not everybody's gonna wanna do it.
right,
All of
so,
them.
so when, yeah, what bridge do you cross then?
It's different programs. I mean, this would be the development of a whole new sidewalk or walking path, whatever, wherever you land. Of course, that's a different program though, the 50/50 sidewalk replacement program.
Correct.
Because it's existing versus new, but again, that's up to you guys.
So
That's why we bring this stuff to you guys for approval.
So like, ultimately, this is in front of us. It's a recommendation for the approval of an internal application for a Prairie Trace sidewalk survey from city limits to Highway 30 is in front of us. If anybody would like to proceed with this, I would entertain a motion.
Can I ask that we have their board revisit this for terminology aspects and feasibility on other types?
And this is just for the survey.
This
This is just to have your engineer lay it out and survey to get a rough cost.
Yeah, because even with just us doing this with that terminology in here.
There's no contract.
No, but it's. the
This doesn't
terminology is-
obligate anything other than taking, basically, your engineer to take a look at this. You got a lot of votes ahead of you before you break ground or do anything else.
So it wouldn't matter if we
mean, that's something you can direct your engineer as part of the survey to look at a walking path versus a sidewalk. But-
Probably they have different,
Right.
regulations.
To me, I don't think it costs anything to get the estimated cost from our engineer, so.
Is that a motion?
I'm for waiting, what's that?
It costs $12,000.
Please,
To
for
do the
waiting.
full, I'm saying
Oh,
get an
to
estimate
wait.
on the rest of it,
Yes,
of what it would cost for engineering on
right,
that
for the
portion as well.
right.
So if I heard right there, we do not have a motion on the table tonight. The motion's been provided. Any other discussion on this? Would we like to table this for the next meeting for further discussion?
It'll take us longer than that to get
Or
together.
when you guys, could you,
We'll
could keep it
revisit
on the agenda, and when you're ready, we'll revisit it? Fair enough.
To table and send it back to CART.
Yeah, you can't,
Can bring this with?
I don't think you can table unless you have a motion on the table,
Yep.
on the floor, so.
So I
We're
would
just gonna
entertain a
keep it on the
motion,
agenda.
I would entertain a
Yeah.
motion to table this, send it back to the cart board, and we'll revisit this when they're ready again. Motion Dempsey. Second, Patrick.
Justin Nuns,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Recommendation for reappointment of Emma Peterson to a 4-year term.
Pretty straightforward, you'll see in your packets, must be about page 90-ish or something, how the board is structured. Emma, the position that Emma fills is due to be replaced this year, so she agreed to serve a full 4-year term, so we're recommending that she be reappointed for a full 4-year term.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Emma.
Motion Patrick.
Second.
Second Justin Mills.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick,
Yes.
Justin Nuns,
Yes.
Kim Backer. Motion carries.
Okay, then, it's not on the agenda, so it's just a matter of discussion, and maybe a future agenda item. But the CARC did ask that and we couldn't vote on it either because it wasn't on our agenda, but to explore the possibility of investing our funds in short-term CDs. They thought if we did about $40,000 at a time, like every other month, and then eventually we would get to the point where we had $40,000 approximately coming due every month that would give us liquid assets. So if that's something that you would feel favorably towards, I can get it on our next agenda and make a formal request and then bring it back to you guys.
You're probably about 4% return on your money on the CD.
And we're getting 3/4 now.
Yeah, so it'd be better, I think it would probably be smart to bring that as an agenda item next week.
We'll get that on our agenda and then.
And I know Muriel, I did look into, cause I'd mentioned it, I did look into the, way the program was set up. Investing that is one of the things that that CARC can, it's built into the program that it can be done. I know the board CARC had asked me about it at the meeting, so I did look into that.
But that is something that they would have to do, right? Or we would just do
I
it?
believe they would have to approve.
Okay, yeah, so we'll bring it back.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Muriel.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Casey.
Discussion or action on purchase of a side-by-side. Casey.
Yeah, on pages 90 through 95, there's a side-by-side in town for sale. 2017, 1,700 miles, comes with a snow blade. It wants $9,500 for it. We're running into the issue during the summer times with our side-by-sides. One of them we have tied up during the summer with the spray tank in the back of it, and it's a pain taking the spray tank out, in and out all the time for the kids to use. basically with this will get the kids out of driving the pickups.
Which money's in your equipment fund?
That is, oh, I have the Hershey Bank one. There's 124,000, I think, in there right now.
And Casey, and I think he's budgeted for a side-by-side for the last 4 years or 5 years, so I can.
That's 5 years.
And we just haven't, one side-by-side we currently have, the Polaris has 12,000 or 14,000 miles on it,
Yeah, 14,000.
and that's a 2015.
It's just, we found out it's easier to put the kids in them than versus pickups. Plus, we can go 2 weeks on a tank of fuel on them versus a 4 days, 5 days in a pickup.
What's everybody's thoughts?
He does have it in his budget, I don't have an issue with it. I don't
Okay.
think you can get one somewhere else for that much money.
Well, the thing with this, it's local, we kinda know where it come from, so versus going out and buying something that we don't have any history on.
The brand new one, you're gonna touch 20 to 30,000 real fast.
This also comes with a snow blade, so.
Come with the window coverings for the,
No.
there's almost no way it's something I would say out there.
It has a windshield, but that's all you get.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the side-by-side out of the equipment fund.
Motion back.
Second.
Second, Derek Gibson.
Felicia Patrick,
Yes.
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Scott Meyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Claims are presented.
I'd like to add the 82,574.15 to the claims, and then the 95, okay, the 82,574.15 out of Keno fund, correct? And then 9,500 out of the equipment fund to the claims.
So any question on claims that you see?
There's one that Mike had a question on, but.
What was Destiny Art though?
When they moved, she had requested her deposit back, that $200 deposit back, and it took a full payment. She moved out on the 5th of March. It took a full payment, so that other $74, we prorated that, so
Okay. Makes sense.
Is the Johnny Klein production, is that for,
It is road gravel and bottom ash.
Does it go out to the?
For the alleys, when we're doing the alleys.
Every
We-
month?
we-
Every month?
No.
Oh.
We got, well, it took him about a month, cause he brought the road gravel probably last month, and then there was about 3 weeks before he bought the bottom ash. But we keep a stockpile at the north lot. When we use that up, I order to replace what we use, so we always got material on hand.
Make a motion to approve the claims as amended.
Motion back. Casey?
Question first, on common signs, there's a
Oh.
deposit of $4,672.75.
Okay, so
I'll amend my motion to include the counting sign.
You had the whole price. You motioned to put the whole.
You did do the whole price.
Which is fine if you wanna do the whole thing, but I just seen that there was a deposit on there.
So her motion was for the 80, whatever for AB Creative, the 80
Oh,
some
AB
thousand,
Creative, okay.
and then the 9,500 for the ATV.
That's what's on the floor with a motion, but if Condon, you would need to amend.
I'm amending my motion to include the counting signs.
Well, no, her motion was for AB Creative.
AB Creative
And
and
the
side by
side-by-side.
side. I
And then
did
we
not
need-
put counting signs on it.
Yeah.
Just adding that.
You would like to amend your motion to add condom signs
In
50% in full? Okay.
Second.
Yeah, so motion Backer, second Patrick to amend original motion to add the condom sign full payment amount to our funds. So
Well,
straight to,
Well, so I think Kim's motion, if I'm understanding, was to approve the claims, but to add the 3 additional items.
Yes.
And she seconded that motion, so I don't think you need a separate motion. I think you're at the point to approve.
okay.
Just,
I disagree.
I think, cause
You gotta approve the amendment to the motion and then approve the amended motion. Two different votes, all
because
disagree.
we've never voted on the initial.
Can I revoke my?
Withdraw your motion.
Withdraw your motion and then clean it
I
up.
wanna withdraw my original motion. And then my new motion.
You'll have to have the second also withdraw their second.
There was not a second
There was
before
no
she
second,
amended.
correct.
On the first motion?
Yeah.
Yep, she,
No, we never had.
No,
Yep.
because he interrupted me before we
Okay.
did that. So, I'd like to make a motion to amend the claims for the amount for AB Creative of 82,574.15, the side by side for 9,500, I have no clue who that's to. And then the full amount for condom signs.
Should we say who it's to? I mean, it shouldn't be a secret.
I don't know.
Right,
It's all
should
public record.
be, yeah.
It's all, yeah, there's no secrets on
It's
this.
purchasing it from Kyle
It would be-
Stevenson.
Yeah, it just wasn't, it's Kyle Stevenson.
It was, yeah, and it was in the emails
Yep.
with the,
Yeah, just so it's in
Yep,
the
it was-
minutes.
For 9,500, Kyle
Yeah.
Stevenson, and then your deal for condom signs was.
93,45.50.
Okay. Motion back. Derek seconds.
okay, Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Justin Nelms,
Yes.
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick. Motion
Very
carries.
good, we're straightened out. Payroll reports provided, promise of vacation.
For balance of accounts, I just went in today and I printed off the bank balance. Tiffany had a family emergency and has been out of town, so she has been working remotely, moving some things and cleaning up some of the after effects of the audit. She should be done in the next day or two, and then I will have full profit and loss and balance of accounts that I will be able to get that don't show me odd negative amounts and then change every time somebody gets on it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
So we just authorized payment out of Keno for 82,574.15, and then also a sign for 9,045.50.
the Hershey Bank
would not let Okay, no, that's fine, I
She's
just
got 3 different.
looked at that, we better double
No.
check this, cause it shows, this is just the one that.
No, that's just the one bank. She said that we have almost between all 3 of them. So we're good.
Not good to be brokerage.
Yeah, that's what I said,
I'm with you.
better discuss this again.
Between the 2 banks, you said we almost had 100,000 for a firm.
Hershey Bank alone, we have $86,603.65, and there's $80,332.13.
$166,000 in Keno between the 2 banks, so we're good to
Yes.
write the checks that we just authorized. Just wanted to double check. Sorry to all.
We've got the parks mowed once already. We got sprinklers going, we've been fighting them, we've got issues with them, but we're starting to get them fixed. Sewer lagoons, the dirt work's pretty much done, now they're getting ready to lay the riprap along the edges, so that project's ahead of schedule. Hopefully, Monday, they will start up on Cobbler Lane and have it done.
What time is your pre-construction meeting?
10 o'clock, Friday. Come on down, anybody.
I cannot make it. I'd like just to smile at him.
Should be around, anybody else, if they would like to go, we just have to have a work session.
Publish that if
And publish that, if there's a chance that there would be 3 of us as board members at that. Is anybody else interested in going to the pre-construction meeting? Okay, so I think we'll be okay. Bonnie?
I don't think I have any. I would like to request hazard pay for dealing with Casey.
Request denied.
That's a privilege, remember, not hazard, privilege.
Oh, sorry, my mistake, wrong word. No, I don't think I have anything to report.
Okay.
We had the growth committee meeting and we, set the date on the garage sale. They voted to move it up because everybody says at the end of July is just too blazing hot to do it, so we moved it up. They did come up with some fantastic ideas for some community events. One of them was a food truck day. Like once a month, invite everybody up and do a food truck day, either one of the parks or something. But we've gotta fine tune that a little bit. But it's, and then I was also at the housing authority board meeting in Ogallala. That was like an, oh my God, I'm about 110 degrees the opposite direction now. Not sure what went on. You got any clues on that, Roy? Could you clue me in?
Are you talking in changes in leadership or what generally? 'Cause
So
it's-
leadership, and they kept the secretary, and she's.
I don't have any inside knowledge on that.
Ear to ear, but yeah, very good. I mean, if they would've lost the secretary up there, they would've lost a very good group, so, but, yeah. So, and you'd be surprised on how many homes in this general area that they do subsidize.
Can you suggest that they start doing stuff at Anchor Park? The green committee? Like if they're gonna do a food truck?
They're gonna do, this is one of the things that they're gonna do a walkabout of Book Read. They're gonna set up central things in some of the parks. Yeah,
Just cause, you know, if there's ever a possibility of moving the Fourth of July picnic, unless we show people that
it's
it
more
works.
accessible and stuff, yes.
Right.
Yeah, but
Nobody will
they
ever
came
go
up
for
with,
it.
yeah, they came up with all kinds of
Yeah, that would be awesome. 'Cause it's
ideas and stuff.
a great park.
Yeah,
So.
the food truck idea, they thought, you know, because of the electrical outlets up there, that would either be at the ball field or Railroad Park or over at, you know, rodeo grounds
Well,
or something.
most food trucks have their own electricity,
Yeah,
so they don't need
generators.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah,
Awesome.
their walkabout thing is gonna be pretty exciting when they get that going.
Mr. Derek? Justin? Alicia?
I have nothing.
I do,
Yes, sir.
do a lot. There is a possibility, I don't have, I just got a message that said it's possible, but there is a possibility said it's Memorial Day weekend. However, it was approved to go forward with it from Legion members that weekend, because it was already advertised. I don't know details, I just saw it on this paper, so. That's what I was gonna bring up, it was brought up to me by about a dozen people, but. Yeah.
Very good. Any comments from the audience? All right, having satisfied all items on the agenda with no further comments from the audience or the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion Dempsey,
Second.
second Nelms.
Who won?
Kim Backer,
Yes.
Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Derek Dempsey,
Yes.
Felicia Patrick,
Yes.
Justin Nelms.
Yes.
7:36. Casey was closest at 7:17.
Some light reading.
Yes. Bonnie,
Does that mean I don't have to come in tomorrow?
can I request, can we leave our packets in our books, so then people, if they wanna read through all the cardboard stuff that was in there, you can grab them out of your packet, so you
Absolutely.
don't have to print a bunch of copies again?
Absolutely.